Hi, Stuart, I have a question.
Yes.
How can you react compassionately when you see someone doing something you morally don't agree with repeatedly?
What I suggest is, I mean, you have a right to say that, I really don't want to be with a person like that. I don't want to hang out with a person like that. I don't want a person like that in my life. You have a right to say that to yourself. And you have to understand that most people function morally or, with crazy energy because they're really crazy inside. There's something deeply wrong inside them that emits that kind of energy. And they're deeply unhappy people. They're deeply, people with a lot of problems. And it doesn't mean that you have to, unless it happens, I don't know, it happens to be somebody very close to you in your family that you can't avoid.
Mhm.
But if it's just a person that is constantly doing that type of thing, you can walk away. And that person is, if you get really upset inside over that person, they're telling you that you have to work on yourself to get stronger, that you have to build a system inside yourself, that is so grounded and so open inside that somebody else's immorality is not going to throw you off kilter. It's not going to throw you off balance. And you can just say, no, I don't need a person like this in my life. I just walk away from it. And where does the compassion come through? People don't function like that unless they're so deeply unhappy inside that they just want to toss that unhappiness at other people and make them unhappy too. So you look at the person and say, okay, that person is reminding me that I need to build a system in myself that is stronger. In many ways, that person is being sent to you by God to remind you of this. And as you build that stronger system, what that person does will no longer affect you. And you can say no, and you can say, I don't need somebody dumping their wasteland of garbage on me, and I can walk away from it. The only people you can't walk away from, and I'll be honest as I can with you, is your parents and your children. Those are the only people that you can't walk away from. And, if your parents or, kids function that, I have very young kids, but, it means, hey, I need to really build a system in myself that is strong enough to deal with this. I need to get stronger. I need to get more connected with spirit. I need to get more secure in myself about what I value in life. And I can't allow other people to throw me off balance. And as I always say, a very wonderful word in the English, Dutch, German, Hebrew language. No, I don't need this. I don't need to have this in my life. But it gets back to a simple reality. Everything in life is a reminder about how far we've come in our connection with higher energy in the universe. Everything, from the greatest wars to privation and starvation and people, famines and the fighting that goes on in our families, our friends, every single aspect of life, the joy, the love, the gratitude we feel and other people feel for us being in their lives, everything is a sign about how we have evolved inside ourselves, and the work that we need to do on ourselves to continue the growth process. If you see life that way, then there's really nothing negative. if somebody's immorality really bugs you, then you got to go inside yourself and find that place. You understand where that immorality touches, and then you got to transform it into chi, into energy, into a connection with spirit. And then, as I say, you no longer have to have anything to do with people like that, especially if they're not working on themselves, if that's just the way they are. And you can walk away. You can bow to them and say, thank you. You have taught me about something I need to do about fixing me. You know, and this person who's like an enemy becomes, not a friend, but somebody who is teaching you something about yourself. And I think that's one of the great problems in the world is that everything is black or white. Everything is polarity. And in reality, it's not polarity. It's all a teacher about what we need to do to get whole inside ourselves. And life is an amazing teacher. It's the most amazing teacher, a better teacher than me. You know, all I can do, is help people get strong enough so that they can learn from life how to get whole inside themselves, the kind of work they have to do inside themselves that enables them to deal with whatever life brings and not allow it to ever interfere with the connection they have with higher energy, with the people we really love, and the people that nurture us in life, that are always there for us in life. That's how you have compassion for somebody who's immoral. I really mean it. They're teaching you, not that you're immoral, you're not, but they're teaching you that there's somewhere in yourself that allows that kind of energy to drive you crazy.
Yeah, I just don't believe in giving alcohol to someone with a drinking problem when we're out eating, and that really bothers me. It re-
Well, I don't blame you. I wouldn't do that. I don't drink. I haven't had alcohol in 40 years, 30 years. I, I don't blame you. You don't want to feed somebody sickness.
exactly.
I mean that.
Mhm.
But it also is a reminder, do you want to have alcohol? Do you want to allow that person's illness to affect you deeply where it really gets you upset, where it really takes your energy out of you? But nobody wants to feed somebody, somebody is a junkie, you don't want to give them heroin, You want to find a place for them to get fixed. And it's life. And something, I'll tell you, people that are really insecure in themselves, people that fight with everybody, that judge everybody, that have an argument in everybody's face, understand? Those are the people that need for you to fight back with them because they feed off of your energy. They feed off of your energy. And if you just learn to keep your mouth shut and not pour a drink, and these people will stop feeding off of your energy. I mean, it took me a long time to learn this. I used to be upset at everybody when I was younger. And then I realized, Stuart, is not everybody is you. I had a friend, I'll never forget. He was a very good friend of mine, and a young kid. He was from France. So he lived in New York. He was a photographer. And he and I were very good friends. And he used to do a thing called sessions. And he would take this stuff called DMT and he would literally shoot it into his arm and go into some kind of euphoric state of, and he always wanted me to do that with him. I did it once, and after once I said no more. I said, I'm not going to do this with you anymore. And he said, this is dangerous stuff, and this is stuff that can kill you, and I told him no, and he was a good friend of mine. And we used to, in fact, he was the first person who ever told me about Rudy. He said, there's a guy in Greenwich Village who named Rudy, who has this Oriental antique shop, who's supposed to be a very great spiritual master. And he told me I went to him and I wanted to study with him, but he wouldn't take me because I did drugs, you know? And that's the first time I heard about Rudy. And, I think a year after that, he died in a fire, this kid. And I'm sure it was during one of his sessions that he wound up killing himself. But I told him, I'm not gonna do this with you. You're gonna kill you. I told him that this is something very dangerous, and it's gonna do some damage to you. I don't know what, but it's gonna. And so I learned early on, even before Rudy, you can't feed alcohol to a drunkard. You can't support the habit of a junkie. At the same time, I learned even before I met Rudy, what can I learn from this person about my own life and the path that I've taken in my life and how I can say no to things. And very often since then, after I met Rudy, especially, saying no to things, help the other person and help the other person. So you're right. Actually, you don't want to pour alcohol into a glass of a person who's an alcoholic. At the same time, can't get caught up in their world. And there's so much that goes on in life that is a reminder that we as human beings have to get stronger. We have to build an inner life that's more connected to spirit. We have to truly work on ourselves and not allow those stuff like vacuum cleaners. They just suck people's energy out of them. And as I repeat it again, there's a wonderful word in all languages: no, no, this is not work for me. You want to do it? It's your life, your choice. I'm not going to interfere with your choices, but it's not going to suck my life out of me. And I won't feed it. You want to pour a drink? You want to drink? Pour it for yourself. And these are not easy things to deal with, because we all have people that we know that are, you know, very few people on this planet really work on themselves deeply and profoundly to grow closer to God. Very few people do. And we all have to deal with 99% of the human race, jobs, or families, or friendships. We have to deal with all this stuff. And it is telling us, get stronger, get more connected to spirit. Then you can deal with all this stuff, you know, and not allow it to destroy your life. Does anyone else have a question? I'd like to- And one other thing, there's also the seed of God in every human being. And I think no matter who they are and what they bring to us, we have to deal with them by recognizing that seed of God inside them and being willing to nurture that seed of God inside. It's one of the reasons in my life, I've had homeless people I mean, all kinds of people with AIDS, people with this problem, that problem. I never asked questions about their past. I used to say that when I taught in prisons. I would say, I am totally uninterested in what you did to get here. I'm only interested in what you're doing in this moment to build yourself as a human being and get closer to having a spiritual life. And I should tell that to the inmates all the time. I am completely uninterested in your past. I'm interested in how hard you're willing to work on yourself in the present to get a connection with God. If you're willing to do that, you have me 1,000%. And I don't believe anybody is guilty. We all commit crazy things in our lives. But it's what a person does in this moment to fix the chaos inside. And if a person needs to have a spiritual life, they will break the door down to get to do it. They will break the door down. And not necessarily what I do, but what somebody does, but something is going on that truly nurtures them. They will fight to get in the door. I need help to grow. I need to learn how to do it. But you can talk yourself blue in the face about, oh, how fantastic this is and great, and blah, blah. Goes in one ear and out the other until somebody arrives at a point in themselves where they have to do it. They are ready to truly do it. Then every word you say to them will find a home. And this is painful. We all have family. I, you know, I won't go into it, but look, I have a daughter. it's, it can be a little painful. I once told her, I said, I spent 9 years looking for Rudy. Told her this. I said, you were born right. You didn't have to come looking for me. You were born to the home of somebody who has learned a great deal about what you can do to fix yourself and grow spiritually. You know, one day she'll really hear and she'll come or come somewhere, go somewhere to do it. Does anyone else have a question? So don't project light. Listen to it. Let it be a teacher. Every moment of every day, the universe sends you something that you can learn about yourself to grow spiritually. Let it be a teacher. Listen. Does anyone else have a question? Okay, well, God bless you all. You tickle my soul. You make me very happy. It's wonderful to be able to come here and just be a vehicle for higher energy because I don't do this. If I had to depend on me to do this, forget about it. It's just years of training that have enabled me to open, and this thing comes. I listen. My God, I listen as much as you listen because it's not me talking. It's a higher force that's talking. And it's a great gift. So let's be grateful for it. And God bless Zoom and God bless these classes and God bless a lot of things I never thought I'd ever bless in my life. And I'm very grateful for them. So thank you. And I'm looking forward to seeing everybody. There'll be class on Tuesday.
Well, thank you so much, Stuart.
Thank you, Stuart. Bye.
Bye
So
bye. Thank you. Thank you.